How to be your own guru. Hi, I'm Sonia Tully, a fourth generation intuitive, Hay House author, intuitive teacher, reader, and guide. And today I want to talk to you about how to be your own guru and what that means and why it's so important. In this video, we will learn about why assertiveness and intuition go hand in hand. How having clarity around your goals is not only connected to your spirit, but your magic wand. The most common things I see in how we don't assert ourselves in life, and easy practices not only to get in charge of our own spirit, but to get connected to our intuition and make decisions with ease. So I'm so excited that you're here. If you like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, but let's get into it. So having grown up as a fourth generation intuitive, I have had the pleasure of having my mom, who is a spiritual teacher. Her name is Sonia Choquette. And with that, I have traveled around the world, getting to meet so many incredible teachers, from Louise Hay to Deepak Chopra to Wayne Dyer to, Kyle Gray to Rebecca Campbell the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And one thing that I really want to encourage everybody to remember is that all these spiritual teachers, me included, are human beings. And when we forget that, if there's any moment, that's a place where we give our power away to an authority, instead of checking in with what is true for me, what resonates for me. And whether we're talking about spiritual practices, whether we're talking about how to navigate in life, our most important connection to our truth is being connected to our physical bodies. Our bodies, this physical body, this is where your spirit lives. As long as your heart is beating, your spirit is home. And your spirit speaks to you in vibration. And the voice of your spirit is the voice of your intuition. And the way that we receive our intuition is from the inside. The call is coming from inside the house, and oftentimes communicates in signals to our bodies. So when something feels good or true, things open up. Everything resonates. When things don't feel good, when we get an vibe, our body contracts. So when we're connected to this physical place, we can start to be aware of, these are the things that work for me. These are the tools that are important for me. These are the things that I want or don't want. Intuition works best, like I said, with a destination, with a goal, because that is how we direct our intuition. And then our intuition can give us step-by-step instructions on how to arrive. But if we don't know what it is that we want, and a lot of times, and I know this, I've been with clients for over 10 years in readings and my one-on-one mentoring, a lot of times people don't know what it is that they want. And it's not that they don't actually know what they want. I find that they haven't been curious, haven't truly asked themselves, or are looking to the people around them, whether it's society, friends, family, and seeing what they're doing and believing that's what they should want. And so when we're in that space, it's confusing, because it's like, well, I want a car. No, wait, I want to go to the Bahamas. No, wait, I want to make dinner. I want to become a chef. No. And just like if you were to have GPS instructions that you kept reprogramming and re-putting in new directives, you would get spun around. And it's the same thing with our intuitive guidance. And so to get clarity, to really even start that place of being your own guru, a question comes of, what do you want? What do you want? And not from your headspace of, this is what I think I want, but what are those things that speak to your heart? What are the things that excite you and open you up, that you think, I can't wait to do this. This is something that I love. This is a non-negotiable. And I'm going to first start by saying, a lot of times we get confused that they have to be really big deal things. but they don't have to be. It could be, taking up pottery. That might be something that you really want, that your intuition, your heart, get that same direction. When we can have clarity, and clarity that connects our minds and our hearts, that's when we can be decisive. Because in order to not only trust and follow our intuition, we have to make decisions. And those decisions are places of where we step into our own personal responsibility as co-creators of the universe and say, yes, I decide that I am going to write a book. I decide that I'm going to invest in my spiritual practice. I decide that I'm going to take that pottery class. And when we do that, that is how things not only start to shift, but accelerate. And in order to really say yes, that means that we have to say no. And we have to say no to things that don't serve us, that come from a place of obligation instead of a place of true giving, having to say no to different opportunities, to having better boundaries. When we say no, we're creating not only more space for our yes, but for the things that serve us. And with that same part and that same place of having decision, that is where we step into our own authority. That's when we start to check in of what resonates on a physical level for me for now. I had a client a while ago, and she didn't know what it was that she wanted to do. She kept being like, well, I'm working at this corporate job, but like maybe I wanna go and go have a van life, and maybe I actually just want to move back to Boston, and maybe I want to be a kids teacher. I'm not sure what it is that I want. Everybody's telling me, my mom says that I'm so lucky to be in this program, and my dad says that I'm miserable, and my best friend says that I'm miserable, and I don't even know what it is that I want. And so when we just started to get quiet, it was asking her like, who's the authority in your life? She was like, I am. And I was like, are you sure? When she thought about it, that wasn't true. The people who were the authority was mom, dad, and even bigger, what they would think. They would think. And they would judge her harshly, and it would be catastrophic. So when we started to actually point down and really pin down that the they isn't necessarily true, but this is her life and really her life. And so what decisions that she wants to make, what is the type of life that she wants to live, and how does she want that to feel? Then she was able to start to connect back to her physical body, not just her thinking mind that had a lot of ideas of what things should be like, to what resonates as true. And she came back to me and she said, I like working in my corporate job, but I'm going to ask for less hours. And I am actually going to have a 2-week vacation, and I'm going to be renting a van and driving around Maui. And that were decisions that she had made. And that in that assertiveness, she had to turn down some different things. And what she did in that same place, in being her own guru, of stepping into her power, of taking charge of her destiny, scheduled a meeting with her boss, and booked her trip. Both things that were decisions, both things that resonated with her, both things that I said, how does your body feel? And she says, great. And I said, how could you tell? She said, I knew it was my intuition because everything in me opened up. And all of that chatter that showed about of telling me to what I should do relaxed. And now I feel good. And so when we are in this place of really stepping into our adult power and responsibility, you have to remember that nobody has it figured out. None of us have it figured out. Even us spiritual teachers, we also have our own mess because we too are human beings. And so when we look to others, we can look and use their tools, see if they resonate, but let's not get caught up in fantasy that anybody has it figured out, because they don't. So the only thing that you need to figure out is what works for you. instead of trying to superimpose your life on the social media idea of somebody else's, or what will they think? So here are a few different tools of not only learning how to assert yourself, but first of getting clear on your decisions. 1, ask yourself, whose voice is this? Who is this and how does it feel? If it talks a lot, if it's really critical, if it's black and white, that's your ego intellect. If it's quiet, if it resonates, if everything in you opens up, that's the voice of your spirit. 2, ask yourself, what do you want? If you're to wave a magic wand, what do you want? And not necessarily in terms of stuff, could be, but how do you want your life to feel? And how can you make decisions to bring that part to the front of your life? 3, where are you overgiving? Where does the word obligated show up in our relationships? Whether it's to our friends, whether it's to our job, whether it's to, our dog. Where are those places? And really, when we can check, and are we coming from a generous place of heart, of actually showing up and being of service, or do we feel like we have to? And that means that we have to actually have practice some boundaries. So if it's a friend who's always having an emergency and always calling you because she broke up with her boyfriend, but in reality you're exhausted and want to focus on your own stuff, you set a real solid boundary of, I love you and I'm here for you, but tonight I'm at capacity, so I'm gonna take some quiet alone time. And I look forward to hearing, talking to you tomorrow. It's a beautiful way that we can assert ourselves. You have to talk to your boss and say, hello, I'm going to take some time off to go to Maui. That same thing. First, review your actions. Why are the reasons that you deserve a vacation? Why is it important that you need this? And then also hold that vibration in your body. The thing about boundaries, the thing about really stepping into this place is a vibration. And a lot of times it's not asking for permission. Is it okay if this is what is? And we can practice that. And even in practicing that. So 3, that same place. I think 4, get clear on what it is you want and embody the vibration by saying, I decide. The words I decide are a very powerful magic wand of where we're going to direct our focus and attention. And your job is to show up to it, not just serve lip service. So be your own guru. Check in on what the things are that really resonate with you. Assert yourself and recognize that that's a place of personal power and spiritual power, because that's where we put up our energetic boundaries. And trust yourself and trust others. Even if their human side has a lot to say, trust their spirit that they'll be able to figure it out. And that the more that you can pour that love, attention, and focus into yourself of the things, those seeds that you want to blossom, the more quickly that they will blossom. And that those relationships that sometimes can come up against that don't will shift and change gradually. But you have to be there lovingly, consistently holding the energetic boundary. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I am sending you all my love. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit like, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. And if you haven't, download my free spiritual toolkit. It's got a gorgeous workbook and guided meditation to help you really up-level your intuitive skills and mastery, which is so fabulous. If you're interested, I have an online course, Be an Intuitive Badass. It's also down in the comments. Check it out. It's so fun. I love it. It's a really, really fabulous way to step into real mastery. And as always, I am sending you all my love. I hope you have a beautiful day. If you feel it, share this video with a friend. And spread that light and that love. I love your spirit. Don't you love mine? Bye.